Listen. Can you hear that? It's the sound of a tap turning. But nothing comes out. Just air. Just silence. That's the sound of a superpower dying. Tehran. 10 million people. The heart of Iran. And right now, the government is using a word they swore they'd never say out loud: evacuation. Think about that for a second. Imagine if tomorrow morning, London just ran out of water. Or New York. Or Tokyo. And the government said, pack your bags. The city's closed. It sounds insane. It sounds like a disaster movie. But in Tehran, this is real life. Let me show you something. This is the Lar Dam. Look at the satellite images. 2020, it's blue and full. 2022, it's shrinking. 2024, it's mostly mud. Today? It's at 2% capacity. 2%. That's not low. That's dead. The other big one, the Latvian Dam? 9%. You know what happens when you try to drink from a cup that's 98% empty. You get nothing. But here's the thing. The water crisis? That's only half the nightmare. The ground is literally collapsing. I'm not talking about a little settling. I'm talking about Tehran sinking 30 centimeters every single year. That's a foot. Every year. There's footage from District 18 where a guy puts his entire hand inside a crack in his living room wall. Not from an earthquake. From the ground giving up. Why? Because for decades, they pumped out all the groundwater. They drained the aquifers to keep the city alive for one more summer. And now, the earth is taking revenge. Bridges are twisting. Gas lines are snapping underground. Buildings are tilting. They built a city for 10 million people on top of a sponge. And then they squeezed all the water out of the sponge. Now the sponge is flat, and the city is crushing it. So how did this happen? How does a civilization that's been around for thousands of years just forget how to drink? This is what I call institutional cannibalism. It's when a system eats its own future to survive today. For 40 years, Iran didn't want to depend on the West for food. So they said, we'll grow it ourselves. Great idea. Except they tried to grow watermelons in the desert. They dug millions of wells. Illegal wells. All over the country. They farmed land that was never meant to grow anything. And they used up the ancient water. Water that's been underground for 10,000 years. Once it's gone, it doesn't come back next year. It doesn't come back ever. It's like burning your furniture to keep warm. Sure, you're warm tonight. But tomorrow, you have no furniture. And you're still cold. On TV, the leaders smile and say, we're strong. We're independent. But open the tap. Nothing. The TV can lie. The tap can't. And right now? The tap is winning. So what happens next? The president said it out loud, we might have to evacuate Tehran. Let's think about what that actually means. Where do 10 million people go? North to the Caspian Sea. It's already overcrowded. They're cutting down forests to build vacation homes. South to the Gulf? It's 50 degrees and the water there is salt water. East? That's a desert. There's nowhere to go. If this evacuation happens, it's the biggest humanitarian disaster in modern history. Think about the roads. The panic. The price of a bottle of water when 10 million people are trying to buy one. This is Mad Max. And it's not happening in 2050. It's happening now. You see the riot police on the streets. They're not stopping political protests. They're guarding water trucks. Water is more valuable than oil now. And when people are thirsty, they don't care about politics. They don't care about ideology. They care about survival. Now zoom out for a second. Look at the bigger picture. Iran's enemies? Israel, Saudi Arabia, the US? They don't need to do anything. They just have to wait. Iran has missiles, drones, a navy. It's a fortress. But a fortress with no water is just a tomb. You can't shoot a drought. You can't arrest the sun. They spent billions on proxy wars in Syria, in Yemen, in Lebanon. They built this ring of fire to dominate the region. But while they were fighting abroad, the ground literally opened up and swallowed them at home. This is how empires fall. Not from invasion. From arrogance. From neglect. They forgot that before you can be a superpower, you have to be a functioning city. And Tehran? It's not functioning anymore. So here's the verdict. Tehran is entering 0 day. The water's gone. The land is broken. The trust is gone. We're watching the physical collapse of a nation. Not from war. From thirst. 10 million people are realizing that the future just got cancelled. This isn't a political crisis. This is a geological crisis. And you can't negotiate with geology. So what do you think? Is this the end of Tehran? Can they engineer a miracle? Or is this just the beginning? If you lived there, what would you do? Stay and fight for water, or pack your bags and run? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Because this isn't just Iran's problem. Water wars are coming. And they're coming everywhere. This is Global Power Report. We watch the collapse, so you can prepare for what's next.